Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Billion Dollar Banker podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Perrone, and I am so excited. We're in pink today. If you haven't noticed, I'm here with Jen Obsuth and Courtney Gilmartin. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having us.
So they are here today to talk about Female Forward Alliance and also tell us a little bit about who they are. So we're excited to get started. Thanks for listening today. This is a great organization, and we hope that you can share this as much as possible. Comment, give us your feedback, and do what we can to collectively help people in the community. So, Jen, I would love to start with you. Tell us about who you are.
Yep. I'm Jen Obsuth, and I am a mother. And I think that's one of the most important roles that I have. I'm also an entrepreneur. So I own my own business called the Reach Catalyst Group. It's a fractional marketing agency. So essentially, I go into organizations that cannot finish a project, or maybe perhaps their marketing team is not seeing results, or maybe their agency isn't getting them to where they need to be. I go in, I put the strategy together, I train the team, I finish that project, and then I slowly exit out of the organization. I used to work for a very large agency, an award-winning agency, and I encountered that a lot of clients would onboard us and not be prepared to actually take on marketing. So I feel like this is really bridging a gap. I'm very, very lucky that I have extraordinary clients right now that allow me to do what I'm good at. So I'm very happy with where that is going. I also am a co-founder of the Female Forward Alliance. This is a nonprofit that Courtney and I started that we'll talk about a little bit later. And last but not least, I'm also a cheer coach and volunteer for miscellaneous of items at school.
Well, I love that you started with mother, and I think that's really cool because I know that's kind of foundational in many ways to Female Forward Alliance. And Courtney, we're so happy to have you with us too today.
Thank you.
Tell us about yourself.
So my name is Courtney. I'm also a mother. I have 2 children. My daughter's in high school now. My son is in 7th grade. And I am an advocate, a domestic violence survivor. I'm huge on, women's advocacy. I'm very vocal in legislative matters in New Jersey. I'm a staunch supporter of domestic violence reform in the state. I've done some pretty cool stuff with a lot of really interesting people. And I am also the founder of a consulting company called Monarch Consulting Group. And I primarily focus on helping women who are dealing with high conflict exes, very litigious custody battles in family court. And also I deal with women, who are getting divorced. So I help a variety of people who are dealing with a variety of family court issues as well. So that's my passion. And as Jen said, I'm also the co-founder of Female Forward Alliance, and I'm excited to be here and talk about it.
It's a long list. I don't know how you guys are doing it all, but it's pretty impressive, and I could see how all of it really kind of like comes together in a lot of ways, right? With your passion. I think what's awesome is you're giving back in so many ways, and you're helping people in so many ways in both of your businesses. So we're here today to talk about Female Forward Alliance, and so Jen, why don't we start with you? Tell us why did you guys start Female Forward Alliance?
So it was very spontaneous. I had reached out to a few women, and I was looking to do some community service work. When I resigned from my very large C-level role at a marketing agency, I took a few months off, and I realized I needed something to make me feel empowered again as I was kind of finding out what my next step was going to be. Thank God for a very supportive husband. And Courtney reached out to me and said,
shout out to your husband.
Shout out to my husband. I want to make sure I do that. But Courtney reached out to me and said, why don't you join me at a few of these organizations that I belong to? We attended those meetings and kind of vented to each other that we weren't able to find an organization that we would be proud our children join. And we complained about it for a while. And then one night Courtney said, why don't we start our own? And I said, actually, I started taking notes about what the name of our own should be. I shared the Female Forward Alliance name to her. She said, love it. That's the name. I'll submit us tonight. I didn't think she was serious. And then I woke up the next morning with a text message of like, this is what I'm doing. Let's use your address. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And we started the Female Forward Alliance.
Amazing.
We then onboarded our board essentially immediately. And unfortunately, they couldn't be here today. but I definitely want to shout them out as well. We have 2 outstanding board members, Erin Augustine and Danielle Gibbs, and we cannot say enough positive things about them.
Awesome.
I think onboarding those people helped us kind of get where we need to be today.
We need a bigger studio to have them here, but yeah, shout out to them, and thank you guys all for what you're doing collectively, because this is a big effort, and you're involved in so many organizations helping so many people already. So why did you want to start this?
So it's like Jen said, like you said, I'm involved in a variety of community-based organizations, nonprofits, and the like, and I didn't find something culturally that was a fit that I felt could help the broader group of women that I really felt needed, to find something that they would fit in with and find purpose with and be happy that their daughters and their, granddaughters were to join. So
love that.
I'm, of course, involved in a ton of committees and organizations that help domestic violence women, but I wanted to broaden the scope because there's a lot of people that don't want to be, shoehorned into one cause specifically. So I wanted something that I felt could support women throughout the entirety of their life. We go through so many different roles and changes, careers and as mothers and grandmothers, and something that they would be able to join and last a lifetime in.
I love how this is and that was really well said, because I love how this is it's generational. It's also it's all encompassing. It's not just for, like you said, it's not just one part of your life. It's anyone that's out there that's having a challenge. You guys are here to help. So tell us about the mission of Female Forward Alliance.
So essentially, we're a group of females who are looking to make an impact in their community, network, and create connection. And I think that connection piece, initially when we started, wasn't necessarily our top priority goal, but our members have kind of shared with us how the connections that they made at the Female Forward Alliance have impacted their life in ways that they could never imagine. And so we've really started, and this has come from our members, not necessarily us coming up with the concept, pushed that it is a sisterhood. And we're creating bonds with people that I would have never created. They're not the same age as my children. I don't see them at sporting events, but I'm texting them. They're inviting me over. We're sitting down and having coffee and breakfast. And the relationships are not surface level. They're deep.
Right.
And this just kind of happened organically. And I think that's the real thing about the Female Forward Alliance, is you're creating valuable connections in your life.
It's almost like this ancillary benefit that happened just organically, which is really cool. And so what does the mission of Female Forward Alliance mean to you?
So for me, I went through, obviously, like I said, a very long custody battle in family court. And when I was in the thick of it, I found a tremendous amount of healing and purpose by helping others. And I think there's something to be said for that. Not everybody is as public with the struggles that they may have, and not everyone faces the same struggle, but it's all relative, right? So for anyone that is going through anything, or maybe feels lonely, or going through a divorce, or has lost their parents, that wants to join an organization that they can feel good about and, spread goodness and kindness and help others, is such a healing thing for people to do. And just when you can give people hope and joy, it's exponentially beneficial to them. So that's really the organization that I want to give them. And, with kindness and with love, comes more kindness and love. So I think it just, for future generations, will just do such a good service for the local younger generations. And that's really kind of what we want to work towards now.
Yeah. Just
leaving that positive, safe space for everybody.
That's a great way to turn, in talking about people that are out there that are dealing with something that may not want to come directly and ask for help, but may want to give of themselves and help others in order to heal, to take something that's maybe really bad and turn it into something that's meaningful and good. And so I love that you shared that. And thanks for sharing your own story too, because, I think this is how it happens a lot of times for people. You were talking about karma, right? Just the desire to give back. And, I think that's critical too. So tell us how do people get involved if they want to join Female Forward Alliance?
My first suggestion to anyone that wants to get involved is to attend a meeting.
Okay.
Because I think our meetings are nothing less than electric. And it's the women in the room. It really has nothing to do with the board. We just have such outstanding women in the room that are all looking to help at all stages of life. Again, we have grandmothers. We have people who do not have children, who are younger, mothers, people who are divorced, people who are married. And it just puts you in the room with women. And I think when women are in the room together, we can do huge things.
Yeah.
So the first step is to attend a meeting. Our next meeting is next Tuesday, the 17th, which...
Awesome. Where is it located?
It's at the Ocean Firehouse in Point Pleasant. We are moving locations, thanks to one of our board members. It's a larger location, so it can fit more people. It's right in Point Pleasant on Arnold Avenue, so super close and local. And we are seeing a lot of interest in Point Pleasant right now.
I love that. What would you say to people that would maybe want to get involved in giving back and have that extra time?
So I think, like Jen said, you can always attend a meeting, follow us on social media, feel free to reach out to us. You know, we're looking to grow and build our committees within Female Forward Alliance, so we definitely want to get people involved. And we also, what's really important to us is that it's not a cost prohibitive club to join, and that we're not always, reaching out and asking our members for financial donations, because we understand that right now, especially, people are feeling it.
Right.
So we want to be able to have, a variety of ways that our members and others that are interested can get involved and help, whether it's helping with a project or maybe a financial donation or donating, things that we did a drive for Dress for Success, where people could donate clothes that they were no longer using for women who are entering the workforce. So we're looking at, innovative ways for everyone to give back. So just follow us on social media, reach out to us. If something piques your interest, there's, no time like the present. Send us a message and we'll get right back to you.
Yeah, I love that. And so, if you're out there and you have the extra time to give, this is a great organization for women to be a part of. And I want to hear about, tell me about some of the most impactful moments that you guys have created so far at Female Forward Alliance.
So from my perspective, our first meeting could not have gone better. I was really nervous for our first meeting, and the women in the room, I just left like I was on fire. I was so empowered. And one of our members, Kelly Baldino, mentioned that there was a young gentleman who was in need of a wheelchair, and he lived locally, and his insurance company would not cover it.
Wow.
And he needed it to go to school. He needed it to get transported to school. And it was a struggle for his family. And we sat in that meeting. Another one of our members, Megan Lubin, said, well, my husband belongs to the Spring Lake Hope Foundation, and this is exactly what they do.
Shout out to the Hope Foundation.
Yep.
We gotta
shout
keep
out to
shouting
them.
out everybody we mentioned.
And shout out to Megan Lubin.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening in that meeting is, and I just watched it happen, everyone armed together and said, let's do this. And we reached out to the Spring Lake Hope Foundation. Courtney kind of headed that up. And we got this little boy a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Not only did we get him a wheelchair, but the Spring Lake Hope Foundation also got him a handicap accessible van because his mother was transporting him, I believe, in a sedan.
Wow.
And he was heavier, and it was incredibly difficult to move him in and out of that. So she not only got a wheelchair, but a handicap accessible van. She is the nicest woman and most appreciative woman I've ever met in my life.
Oh.
And now she's able to travel and maneuver and go to stores and do things that she was never able to do before.
That's how meaningful that must have been. Courtney, can you tell us how you guys partner with other nonprofits?
So right now we are identifying needs in the community where we can really have an impact. So local, smaller nonprofits that we're partnering with. We've partnered with the Ashley Lauren Foundation, which helps children with childhood cancer. They're a wonderful foundation. Again, another foundation that turned pain into purpose. The woman that headed that, her daughter had cancer, and now she helps others, and she lives and breathes it. And then we partnered with Common Ground. We had a tragedy in Brielle. We lost a young student, and we partnered with them because they were offering services to everyone locally that was impacted by that. And we also partnered with Spring Lake Hope. We partner with Dress for Success, which isn't right in our backyard, but it's a local New Jersey nonprofit that helps women. So we've partnered with all of them. We've had successful events. We're looking to scale. We really want to have a broader impact. And we're looking to really kind of not narrow the focus to be pigeonholed, because I know I touched on that, but really kind of start aligning with, an area that we want to primarily focus on and building out our own internal Female Forward Alliance program where we can really start to fundraise and really have an impact that we own more so, but continuing the partnership for sure.
Right. A lot of people out there might not think that nonprofits work together so closely. So if there's a nonprofit out there, they should consider reaching out if they're trying to achieve a certain goal, or vice versa, because you could do a lot more collectively than apart, right?
We love to collaborate with local nonprofits. We're looking to expand that, and we're putting together a list of partner nonprofits that we've worked with. We're also in the business of maybe Key Club needs a project. What nonprofit would you recommend? Who's in need right now? The Girl Scouts, we had partnered with them in the past, and now that Girl Scout troop is award winning. They partnered with the Ashley Lauren Foundation. So we're happy to also make an introduction to another nonprofit that we feel is in massive need right now, to help the students give back, because I think that's wildly important.
Very cool. Yeah, I agree. What's next for Female Forward Alliance?
The evolution of Female Forward Alliance is going to be pretty heavy this year. We have big goals in mind. The first one being an increase of size. We have a lot of interest. We also have a member that has moved to Florida, and she has offered in the next year to start a chapter down there. So
that's awesome.
Female Forward Alliance, although headquartered in Brielle, New Jersey, we do see it expanding throughout the United States into chapters.
That's awesome.
So our first step is growth. We want to grow our organization to make more impact. Our second step is evolving programming, putting together our own programming. And we're going to announce that in December at our end of year party. But what types of programs we're going to roll out next year? We haven't even been doing this for a year. It's been 8 months to be exact.
Yeah.
And we've done so much, but we really want to do more and start to outline the foundation of our organization. And the great thing about Female Forward Alliance is our members contribute to that vision. We're not just the board members dictating ideas to people. They are contributing right alongside us. And I love that about our organization. So that's the evolution, I do feel. And then the younger generation, starting to recruit them and getting them involved.
Oh, yeah. Actually, Courtney, can you tell us more about that? Because I know in the beginning you talked about how this is not just for you. It's about making your children proud, your daughters specifically, I think, right? And having them be able to look at you to something that they inevitably want to do. So tell us about how this is going to impact the next generation.
So I think it's going to be definitely a huge part of our programming that we build out is what can we do to help future generations of females that are up and coming in our area, right? And I know there's so much out there in the news right now, and I've read all the studies on the damages of social media and what it's doing to the self-esteem of the girls that are, teenagers and beyond. So we're really starting to look into how can we help with that? How can we build out a program where perhaps we have scholarships or we, provide funding for girls to do immersive experiences, hands-on things, innovative things. There's a bunch of really, really cool camps where girls can learn, engineering and innovation, and they're so important to the future of the country. Females, we've come up with such great ideas that we really want to do something and put together a program where we can give girls that experience, maybe girls that don't have the means, the family doesn't have the means to do so. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And, I'm a big believer that if you give someone something like that, an experience, maybe they couldn't get on their own, you could change the whole trajectory of their life. So that exponentially will help people. And, a lot of people that, get help go on to help charities. So, it'll always just be continuously a positive feedback loop, if you will, to use some business terms. But that's what we're looking to do.
No, that's awesome. And so I think you have something coming up soon, right? That's going to involve children. Can you tell us about your event in October?
What are we having?
Seashells.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Maybe I should ask you.
So we are going to be painting seashells for the Breast Cancer Walk, which is held in Point Pleasant Beach each year. It's a huge event. I think it's the biggest in New Jersey. Is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. So we're going to get together. We're going to have the younger generations painting the seashells, which is obviously a huge help for the older women that normally do it.
Awesome.
And it's, going to be really good. Again, it's great for the younger kids to get some volunteer hours, and I'm excited about that. And then we're going to
That's
be
great.
building out some other events. We want to have an end of the year party, like Jen said. So, more to come. We're really excited, but next year we'll be having a ton more events.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I've been to a couple events myself, and I think it's great that you're involving the next generation. It sounds like something that's really fun to do. We were talking about this before, but like, let's say I'm a mom out there today. What would you say to me if I'm looking for help, if I need help?
First off, don't be afraid to ask for it. We do have an email address you could reach out to us at, info@femaleforwardalliance.org. You can message us on social media. We will keep it anonymous. We understand that sometimes, especially as a mother, pride gets in the way. And I do see quite a few mothers on social media reaching out for help in the neighborhood groups and getting negative feedback. So you don't have to do that. You can reach out to us. We'll put you in touch with someone who can help you, or we will help you.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do as much as we can, especially locally. So again, we're here to help.
I love that, and it's one of the things we really wanted to address, because we want people to notice that it's confidential. If you come to Female Forward Alliance, if you need help, and so is this geared towards helping moms specifically? Is this for anyone that's going through a traumatic event? Tell us about who would reach out to Female Forward Alliance.
So anyone in the local community who needs help, needs support, or needs resources that maybe we can't offer, right?
Okay.
So not necessarily just mothers.
Okay.
Of course, I think especially right now in the current economy, mothers are probably in more need, and single mothers definitely in more need, just because it's so expensive to live right now. But that's not to say that we wouldn't help someone that's not a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Of course we would. So I think for us, what's really important, and one of the big guiding principles for Jen and I with Female Forward Alliance, is that we want to be able to make an impact. So we want to be able to help someone locally. And if we can't, connect them with a local charity where we know the dollars are going, right? There's so many larger organizations that do great work. But when you look at the finances behind them and the actual impact versus dollars donated, there's a giant disparity. So we are really focusing in more on those local charities and the local community that needs it.
That's great. Yeah, I wanted to ask that question because obviously there's like this focus on women, and there's a focus on mothers, and so I want to be clear, like if you're someone that's out there that's in need, this is wide open for anyone to reach out, and confidential. And so, when I think about, let's say I'm out there and I'm listening today, and maybe I'm interested in becoming a member, what would you say to someone like me?
You can reach out to us. You can attend one of our meetings. You can attend one of our events. There's a variety of ways to join us. We have one member that travels all the way from North Jersey because she's eventually going to live down here. And she can't attend our meetings on Tuesdays. She just can't make it down here in time. So I send her the notes. She's still a member, and she attends the events that she can attend.
Nice.
Or she contributes in other ways. So there's a variety of ways you can join us. Just reach out, follow us on social media, follow us on our website. We post there regularly, any meeting, event, any big news that we have happening. And we're here to help.
Yeah. And so I love that because, first of all, their events are fun, right? They're to me, they're like, I went to the one that you did in Belmar, I think it was. And it's a great time to get together, to talk to each other. You guys are brainstorming on ideas. Sometimes there's people that just came across something recently in the week that are like, hey, I think this is a great idea. We should try something like this. So bring your ideas, obviously, if you have them. But can you talk about like the sisterhood that comes with being a part of the Female Forward Alliance more, so people can kind of understand what does it feel like from a community perspective?
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that. So we have the fundraising events, which are great. And we also have member-only events where we really get to bond and get to know one another. And we are going to start focusing more on that for 2025. That's something that our members have given us feedback that they really enjoy. So we were able to have an event over the summer where we had a nice catered dinner. Everyone got together. We did like an icebreaker, a fun activity to really get to know each member on a personal level more. And we want to, have events that are member only focused where we can bond. And we also want to be able to have experiences that maybe we wouldn't think to do on our own or be able to afford on our own, and, kind of that exposure to our members is really important because you could, expose someone to an idea that really changes their life. So we just want to really open it up and open up everybody's world that's a member of FFA as well as giving back.
I love that. I think because there's a culture inside of businesses, there's a culture inside of like these community organizations and nonprofits. And as you were talking, I was thinking about like small businesses. Like, let's say somebody wants to make a donation to support Female Forward Alliance. What does that process look like?
So we have a donation form on our website. We have had a few businesses donate. We are also in the process of expanding our sponsorship packages. With different tiers where maybe someone would get some exposure on social media, exposure on our website, maybe some signage at our events. Again, we've only been doing this for 8 months. So we are in the process of expanding that into 2024 and 2025. So reach out to us. We're happy to collaborate, even do some, maybe an employer wants to have a volunteer day with their entire staff. We'd be happy to kind of coordinate that and work with them on it or invite their employees to one of our meetings. We do belong to the Jersey Shore Chamber of Commerce, so we are looking to expand the partnerships that we have there as well.
That's great. Yeah, so many organizations do these, like, they go out and they're volunteering. So that's a great call out. Anything else you want to leave our listeners with today? I mean, you're going to hopefully, if you're in Female Forward Alliance, I hope you share this interview so that we could get it out there to more people. But is there anything that we left off the table today that you feel like is important to know?
The only thing that I would like to say, if you're looking to use your free time to give back, feel free to reach out to us. Again, sometimes I know as a mother, heading to another meeting or another event can be taxing just emotionally to add to the calendar. So there is other opportunities. We could have a phone call with you after the meeting. We can send you directly to our events. You can also just help with some of the drives that we have. You don't even necessarily have to join, but we would love your help. So feel free to reach out to us, message us on social media, reach out to us on our website. We have a phone number on our website as well. We're here for you, and we're just looking to grow.
That's awesome. Anything to add?
I'll add that innovation for us is huge, right? And we don't want this to feel like another job. Like Jen said, sometimes when you join the PTA or PTO and all those things, you're like, oh no, now I have to go to 4 meetings a year. And how am I going to do this? We don't want Female Forward Alliance to feel that way because we understand the weight that a lot of mothers and even just working women bear. Life is busy. So innovation is huge. Like Jen said, we've only been doing this 8 months. We're in the ground stages. We've built a nice foundation, but we're looking to expand and grow. So now is a really exciting time for members to join because we are really receptive to member feedback. We want that to be, again, that's really important to us. So we want that to be a focal point. We talk about it in every meeting. We ask for feedback and we listen. So if you have an idea, bring it up to us, send it to us. We'd love to have you join because we will be receptive and we'll probably put it in action. So like Jen said, reach out, follow us. Feel free to, shout us out on social media and we'll get back to you. And I'm excited for 2025 with Female Forward Alliance.
Cool. That's great. Well, guys, thank you for joining us today and listening to Jen and Courtney. It's an amazing organization. I've learned things today about Female Forward Alliance that I didn't know. So I hope you guys learned stuff as well. Comment below. Maybe someone that's out there that may need help and you want us to reach out to you, right? To have a confidential conversation about how we could collectively do something. Maybe it's anonymous, right? Maybe it's like, hey, I know a family that's going through something and I want to try to do something really meaningful for them, but I don't want anyone to know who they are, right? Can we keep this kind of under wraps? So we're all here to help all the time. Comment below. All of the contact information for Female Forward Alliance is in the description section here. And follow them, check them out, and reach out, most importantly, if you need help. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.